Good morning and most welcome to this webinar, Master in Sales Excellence. This is cooperation between Confident Approach and Belbin Sweden. My name is Inger and I am the CEO of Belbin, and this is Christer and he's the CEO of Confident Approach. So, what's all about, Christer?
Yeah, Confident Approach is specialized on a small subject called sales core reluctance, actually the activity of salespeople. And we represent over 40 years research from two extremely fantastic scientists who have researched why some people are more active than others. So some facts behind it. All studies I've seen during my 40 years, I think you agree, who have been in Mercury as well, Sweden's largest sales training company, that wherever we go, all studies we see, in the end, the people who sell more than others are more active than people who sell less.
Yeah.
In the end. In the beginning, it could be training, but in the long run, maybe 1 year, you are recruited with the same personality test. Most people use that. You have the same interviewer from the same company with the same method. You have the same sales training. You sell the same products. You have the same managers, trainers, and still people are low performers and high performers. And when we look on the differences, it's not training. It's everyone has it, but some are more active than others. And why? We all know we need to make contacts in order to sell. So in the end, activity is one of the crucial important parts. So how come some people actually are more active than others? That's the question. And now we will try to present 40 years of research in 30 minutes. Good luck. So, the first important part is motivation. But not motivation the way you use motivation in motivated people in leadership. In motivation, we are just talking about the fuel you have every morning. When you wake up this morning, how much energy did you have? Are you ready for the whole week, the whole day? So we have researched that as well. So that is one key factor, that you have this one. And of course, motivation, Inger, when you talk about fuel in the body, how can you get more? How do you refill?
Well, training will be one thing, maybe.
Yeah, then my physical, of running.
Physical, yes.
Yes, eating good.
Drinking water.
Yeah, I don't drink too much because that is alcohol, because that will actually lower your motivation, at least the day after.
Yeah.
So keep fit, keep nice to have a good life. So that is something the individual are most responsible for.
Yeah, for sure. It's the individual who can take care of him or herself.
Yeah. The other part is, of course, bad management, bad leadership could actually eating energy and fuel.
Yeah. And if something bothers you at home or in your personal relations, of course. Yeah.
So keeping the fuel are important. That's the crucial part, that you have enough. And of course, you understand that listening. If you are a field sales person, they need to book through a secretary to reach the CEO. You need more energy than you're standing in a shop and person coming in and are interested in your clothes or your products.
Yeah, then you just standing there waiting.
Yeah. So different sales job needs different energy, but this is a crucial part. Without this,
nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen. But you need to use this motivation for something. That's what we call your goal orientation. What you want to use your energy on.
Yeah.
And if you are in sales, the energy should be used to prospect, to meet customers, discuss new business. And we do know there are people that have a high quantity, but they doesn't get contact with the people they talk to. So we call them professional
visitors.
Visitors, yes. You should actually go out and talk business with people. That's why you are there. So this is very important. Here, managers has
responsibility.
Yes, a lot. Why should I use my energy in your company and running and try to get business for this company? What's in it for me? And that's why we all develop different commission systems, because we think everyone is driven by money.
Some are.
Yep, some are. If we generalize and look on one of the latest research we had from the States, it shows that 52% of Americans are actually in sales for making money. That's the drive. They want the money. UK close, 50%.
And in Finland, the opposite.
Yeah, in Finland, it's only 15%.
Yeah.
That's in for money. In Sweden, 23%. So in Scandinavian countries, maybe money is not the drive to go into sales.
Not the top.
Not in the top. True. So that's also important, but also good leadership important. So I want to work for you in your company. I feel this is a nice product and so on. But this is also important. For some people, we know they put all their energy into the floorball society to take care of the kids and be in the board for whatever sports instead of using it for the company because they think it's more interesting.
Yeah, and what they do in their free time.
Yeah. So this is important. Responsibilities, a lot of managers to actually want me to put the energy into this work. And now we're talking about sales, but actually it's relevant for all jobs. Energy into what I want to do, whether I'm going for a CEO, marketing or sales or nurse, this is the same model, actually basic. I mean, we're talking about sales now. So if you have this, you have it. You have the energy that is needed and you put it into the goals you have. That means you're a motivated person, but people talk about motivated people. But when people are not motivated and they tell me that this guy is not motivated at all, I always think, is it lack of fuel or is it I don't really want to?
And then the motivation can be divided into, we call it the physical energy you have to do the job.
And we have 3 low level. That means, Inger?
The amplitude. How much energy do you have right now?
Do you have enough for this type of sales job?
Yeah. And how long does it last? The duration?
The whole day. So it's not only between 10 and 11, and then I take a quick lunch and then I do something else.
Yeah. And then how fast can I get it back if I get rid of some energy?
Yeah, refill. So that is important part. And remember, we measure this in the test. All of this we're talking about is measurable. And there are other tests that measure motivation as well, but they don't measure prospecting motivation. That's the difference.
Yeah, and we are focused on the prospecting part.
Yes.
And if you have the motivation, the energy to prospect, it is what you can do.
Yeah. If you don't have it, you can't do it.
Right.
And the energy should flow over to the goals. And there we have why I have this job. That's the goal for me. The targets for the company, that should be actually together. So when I reach the target for the company, it should help me to reach my personal goals as well. Then it's really good. Yeah. That's why normally entrepreneurs has a much higher goal than many employees. Because they're actually doing what they want.
Yeah.
Strategy to reach your target. And of course, you need to do this every day. And for most sales job is the sales funnel in one way. Calling prospects, moving them over into clients slowly, what you can do. And this is what we call want to do. This is the main model. And there are other tests out there, more than us, that measure parts of this a little bit differently, but good enough. And the interesting is, it's not finished here.
Here's only the start.
Yeah, people are complex. You all heard all the excuses why I can't make another call, or excuses for why I didn't get the order, because I didn't ask for it, maybe.
Could be.
We all heard them. So we take a step more into the brain in people. And then we need to look on 2 different parts. We call it imposters or prospecting fundamentals. We're soon going to go into that and explain what it is. And the other part is something called inhibited social contact initiation syndrome, which we all have more or less. in sales, we call it sales core reluctance, a resistance to initiate contact with prospective buyers. We have tested over 1 million people. We're moving closer to 1.5. And what we can say, 85% of all people all the world actually have some part of sales core reluctance.
Yeah, the question is only, do I have so much so it interferes with my prospecting?
Yes.
And how much does it do that?
Yeah, and how much does it interfere? How much does it hurt me? And of course, most of our research is about dollar, euros, money in, because that's what companies are interested in.
And that's also measurable.
Very measurable. So, fundamentals. When the energy, motivation, the energy going to makes the goal, we can have other things that disturbs us. That's goal diffusion here.
Yeah, we spread the goal on, or our energy on different tasks.
Yeah.
So I'm all over the place doing a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there,
yeah.
but nothing to the end.
Could be a personality trait for some people, but normally is the company who drives goal diffusion. So this is a management responsible that the salespeople shouldn't be goal diffused.
Yeah, because the manager can tell the salesperson, well, when you talk to the client, you can do that and that and that also, not only asking for the order.
Yeah, and suddenly the marketing department come, when the salespeople are out, we can do this as well.
Yeah.
Please, can you ask them, and so on. Goal allergy could also make it hard for some people. Is actually performance anxiety. That means when you got compared to others, you actually get blackouts and you don't do anything at all. Instead, when you come to competition or you are compared to other salespeople publicly.
Yeah.
And they doesn't really work for them. These people, around 10% of salespeople have goal allergy, and you need to coach them differently. If you coach them right, you can actually get top performance for them as well, because it's performance anxiety, so they really want to perform.
Then we have the sales role support. How much support do I need from the company?
Yep.
Or from how much do I want my manager to actually see what I'm doing and help me?
Yeah. And then we of course have the principles-based exoneration. Fantastic word, psychologist. Yeah, sorry for that. But as you know, we have values. Do we actually believe in the sales process in the company? Do I really think these products are good?
And do I really like the way we do it in this company?
Yeah. Do I have the values that I like the company's ground values, so I feel proud to represent the company, or do I have some issues? If I have some issues, I will not prospect as much as I could.
Of course.
And that will be used as an excuse not to do the goals.
Then we have the information bridge, meaning that as a new salesperson, I do need information about the company, the products to start prospecting. If I need it too long, that might be a call reluctance.
Yeah.
The over preparation. But it's natural that I do need some information.
Yeah.
Or more information, enough with information to actually go out there and meet the clients and represent my company.
Yeah. No professional salespeople will go out before they know the values of the company, the products behind. You need to know, but you don't need to know everything.
Right.
And then this is one part of the things we need to get control over in the company. The other part is what we call sales core reluctance. And as you see here, it's an emotional short circuit, 16 different types we have found so far, Inger.
Yeah, and those 16 different types, they lead their energy, the physical energy you have, they lead them away from the goal. So there is the short circuit in the middle. So our energy goes away to different kind of obstacles.
Actually, fear response.
Yeah.
It's based by fear response. The difference between these 16 core reluctance types, it's based on fear response, which, if we go back, this was not.
No.
This is also things that steal the energy to other thing than prospecting, talking to clients. That's important. So we need to measure them as well to see in a person what is stealing the energy to other things they shouldn't actually do. But this is different. This is based on fear response from the beginning. It's learned behavior. We are not born with it, and we get it. And we have found 16 different types.
But no salesperson would ever say, I'm too scared to get in touch
True.
with the client. So it's more seen or heard as attitudes, values,
Yeah.
the way we do things or procrastinate.
Yeah, that's the culture of the company, and that gets so toxic sometimes. It's, for our statistic, it takes about 8 weeks until a new employed salesperson have the same problem or issues to sell as the management in the company. Remember that 8 weeks is statistic, of course. Some companies may be faster, some other a little bit longer, but around 8 weeks. You have the same problems.
It's very toxic.
Yep. Some of these types are more toxic than others as well. Now I'm going to scare you because I'm going to go through all 16. No, not this morning. We have a whole week to work. So Ingrid and I picked up 3 of them. And the rest of them you can see on our website, confidentapproach.com. Telephobia, Ingrid, is the first one. I have it. And I work hard with it.
It's a very common type of co-reluctance. Fears using the phone for as a prospecting tool to actually call. Could be cold calling, could also be follow up on existing contacts. Could be that you over rely on alternative prospecting techniques. You say, okay, I wait until I meet in person, or I send an email.
For some, like me, it's even hard to use the phone to order a pizza. So I go to the shop instead and waiting there.
And people who has this kind of co-reluctance may come across as stiff or nervous on the phone, or maybe sound much younger than they are. And this is a totally learned behavior. No one is born with the telephobia co-reluctance.
Face-to-face, no problem at all.
No.
I remember I was visiting a consultants company, and one of the consultants coming into the manager during my talk to the manager, and the manager asked, have you called Mr. X? And he said, no, not yet, but you promised to call him today. Yeah. And the guy coming in 6 times, and every time during my meeting was about 90 minutes with this manager, he asked, have you called yet? You know it's important. Yeah, I will. The 6th time I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I think that's good for me, keeping at least 6 times. Then I asked, hi, guy, I see you haven't called yet. Your manager asked you 6 times and you still haven't called.
Okay.
And that made me interested. If you have seen Mr. X walking on the street outside, would you open the door and go out and say, hi, I need to talk to you? Immediately, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the problem with the phone? I asked. I don't like it. And that's typical telephobia. And he certainly maybe missed the whole discussion with that client.
Yeah. And as is a learned behavior, it can be unlearned.
Yeah. That's the good part.
Yeah.
The telephobia is one of the easier to actually unlearn.
Yeah. So next one.
Over-preparer. Yeah, people that want to know everything because they think it's demeaning if they can't answer all the questions from the client. So they overanalyze, they underact, wants to be really preparing for every call they do. And the most extreme I had is 45 minutes learning, looking at websites before they called. And when they called, you didn't answer, then they start 45 minutes again for the next call. And they do get very knowledgeable. They learn a lot, but for what? Because they don't even call the clients, so they can show their skills. And this one also bleeds into the discussion with the clients. And then we call them
crocodiles.
Why?
Because they have a big mouth and very small ears.
Yeah. So they kill the clients with information. Always a lot to do, always a lot of meetings. A company that suffers from over preparation in the whole company. They have a lot of meetings. They even have meetings how to handle meetings.
Yeah.
But they know a lot of things. We also research people that are
Under
under-preparing.
And that's not good either.
Why?
Because they don't care about their job, so they don't do their job.
And this is important. People that have reluctance are people that want to succeed, but something in their mind, something of their feelings or thinking comes between and get more important than actually talking to the client.
Next one.
No, I go back to telephobia to tell the difference. Telephobia, you can feel in your hands. Here you can feel the fears in a pumping heart or a nervous stomach or all that part. Here, you don't feel that way. You just do more time preparation because you feel you need to more. And this is very hard to say, is this a fear response? Yeah, it's an escape route based on fear, but you maybe have done it so many times so you don't feel the fear. Instead of just going this route because the brain doesn't want to feel the fear, so we will prepare instead. But it also can be learned in the company. This is the way we do things. We prepare. We should not talk to clients if we not really know what we're talking about and all this stuff.
Yeah, it's a completely learned behavior.
Yeah. Next one.
Next one is also a learned, but there is possibly you're born with it. You get it from your parents.
Yeah, it could be in the DNA.
And we call this one the yielder. And fears being seen as rude, pushy, intrusive, and hesitates to be assertive.
Yeah.
Avoids conflict.
That means they wait for the right moment.
And some of them, they are still waiting.
Yeah, they're waiting their whole life for the right situation.
Yeah, and might not ask for the order because then maybe the client would be disappointed or...
Yeah, so when they actually give out a proposal, they send it normally and they say to the client, when you have read and finished it, you can call me. And they have maybe in some companies when we meet them, they have a lot of proposals out. No one called, no one tried to put down.
So they lack their follow-up thing.
Yes, a lot of follow-up. And it's expensive behavior because it hits both in the beginning, because it doesn't really want to take contact, because they think they interrupt people or too rude and pushy, just both coming in, and also in the closing section.
Yeah. So we have made a lot of research.
Yeah.
So Krista, tell us.
This is a research based on almost 5,000 people, as you see down here, 4,915. We did that 2019. We went in our database for almost 1.5 million salespeople and picked out this number and separate them in 3 different columns: low performance, moderate, and top producers, and look on the test results for all scales, all variables we talked about today with you guys. And I know I picked up the most important ones. The fundamentals, we need energy, so that's important. So when we looked on the difference of almost 5,000 salespeople in the scale 0 to 100 between low, moderate, and top producer, we found this. Low producer have much less energy to use to prospect than top producers. So motivation is crucial.
And the same goes with goal, I guess?
Yes. Goal orientation, almost the same.
But it's also important to know you don't need to be 100 on either the motivation or the goal orientation.
Yeah. Another research, we checked if people with 95% sell more and those who have 75. No, we can't find that. But here we can find the difference.
Yeah,
it's there. So that's important. And remember, now we talk of prospecting fundamentals. This is the basic, the engine for people. But then we go into the brakes, all these 16 types. And then we looked on the brake first. How we have 16 types, but we can use the car as an analogy. That means the car have 4 brakes, but it doesn't hit you until you press the brake pedal. It's the same here. If you see how much energy are going to procrastinate, which is the 16 types, you see top producer use much less pressure on that brake, much less energy. So they get even more. They have more energy and use more energy to actually do the job than low performers who lose a lot of energy to escape routes, to procrastinate.
Yeah, and there are also some of the types of correlactans you have to see what the research say.
Yeah, and then we look on the two most. This is the most common one yielder. Around 50% to do our test, the SPQ Gold FSA, have actually yielder as 1 of 5. Average salespeople have 5 of these 16 types that measure with their thoughts and not measure, are twinkling their thoughts in the wrong way and so on. And you see top producer have less of that too. And the way as telephobia. Everyone says my telephone is, we have computers now, we do everything. Still, the telephone shows to be very important. So and this is the same if you look on all other 16 tapes, you have the same pattern. Low producers have more of it when it comes to procrastination behavior, and top producer have less. And also top producer have more energy and are more goal focused than low producers.
Is it possible to measure this?
Yeah, we measure all of this in our test. So just before we go there, activity is crucial for all sales job. If you don't call, you have no one to sell to. And yes, you need to be trained and know how to behave when you have a business discussion. Important too, but most kind of activity is crucial. We can measure it very good. All these have a great impact on sales result, also great on recruitment to succeed with the right people. And we do have too much data and research about this from our suppliers in Texas who have more than 40 years of research in this. Still, I feel like this when I talk to people.
So the soldier says, I have no time to see a salesman.
I got a battle to fight.
No.
And he coming with a new machine gun who can change the whole war. But a lot of people are so stressed in company, they don't really see the forest for the woods.
All the trees.
Yeah, for all the trees. So, yes, we can measure it, Inger. If you're interested to know more about the test, please book a meeting with us and we can go through it so you can see it. This is for an individual, a summary.
And it's very important when you're going to recruit someone to know how much will this person prospect and sell, how soon will it happen, and to what cost.
Yeah.
And that's also the part of the report.
This is our main AI. We started with that year 2000 and try to learn it all research-based, everything we do, to make a prediction of the test results we have here and what that will lead to. Yeah. In performance. How much would you sell? How fast will you reach that level? And how much do I need to invest in you as a salesperson to reach there? So as a help.
Now we have to go to what comes next because we have 2 minutes more.
This is a whole company when we move together, all salespeople the same. So we get a lot of figures. We can talk with managers, how it actually looks. And you have something that is important.
Yeah. What comes next? We do run a training course, a 4-day training course in Sigtuna on the 14th to 17th of November. And we call this the Master of Excellence. And you will get 20% discount on the price if you...
On the 4,000 euro.
If you register this week.
Yep.
We have the scientific sales selection for if you would like to use the tests in recruitment.
Yeah, only for recruitment.
Yes. And there are 4 meetings online. And if you register for that one this week, you will get a 10% discount on the price, which is 1,500 euros. And you can always buy tests and consultancies from us if needed.
Depends how much you need to work yourself.
Yeah. And then it's probably also a book available.
Yeah, on Amazon, you can buy the latest book of sales correlactance and how to cure it. It's in the book as well. It's called Relentless in English, and in Swedish, Inger has translated it, and we tell it without hesitation, utan tvekan.
And that one is available on Amazon.se.
Yeah.
Yeah.